Hello, PEMDAS here. Today I want to do a little talk about Baphomet. He's a mythological creature, and I want to talk about him. And another way I guess you can think about Baphomet is, I call it sex with the lights on. When you have sex or make love to somebody, it's oftentimes the best experiences, I think, are in the dark, where you have a romantic engagement, it leads its way up to it. But then the opposite of that is having sex with the lights on, and it's a whole different kind of reality. And that's the thing that we want to talk about, is Baphomet is a symbol for reality. We can romanticize this world, and we can eschew or avoid all the negative things, but reality has to take into account everything. So reality is a totality of things. So I made this shirt, and I put a Baphomet on there, and it's supposed to be like a old metal shirt. And so I wanted to talk about the symbols of Baphomet. So I'm going to go over them and discuss them. I'll put pictures up here, and I'll show some comparisons, and I'll talk about the symbols and what he represents. But oftentimes Satanists and stuff think he's satanic, but he was really an occult symbol and has a lot of relationships going back to alchemy. And the guy who invented him was actually a Catholic, and he was somebody who remained a Catholic until at least he maintained a lot of Catholic belief systems, but he also practiced magic and the occult. So I want to talk about that a little bit. His name was Eliphas Levi. That was his chosen name. I think it meant Alphonse Louis. And anyway, he was a Catholic. He had his own ideas. He couldn't make them get along with the Catholic Church, so he branched off and did his own thing. And he became, associated with this very famous picture of Baphomet. Baphomet goes back to an image that people said the Knights Templars worshipped, and as some sort of satanic ritual, but even then that probably wasn't satanic either. So I want to talk about that. The whole idea of Baphomet is this sort of a ugly symbol that's supposed to represent all of reality. And so let's start with the top here. We have the goat head, and the goat head is could be the scapegoat, and it also has a relationship to the five elements. There's the water, air, earth, fire, and ether. So you have that. It's an inverted pentagram, and on his forehead you also have a regular pentagram which inverts it. So you have these two opposites, and that's a lot of what's going on in these symbols, are these completes, these opposites, which are complements, I guess, totality. So you have the goat head. Moving right along, you have the wings. Now the wings are often thought of as flying, angelic. When you have wings, you get high, right? And that, when we think of flying, sometimes that's what people used to say that mushrooms did. They gave you flight, but that flight is all up here. And so the wings are imaginary, but that's what the wings represent, is flight. Below that, we get down to the staff of Caduceus. The staff of Caduceus there has been used by Hermes, Mercury, also Hermes Trismegistus, and these guys all use that staff, and that staff itself goes back. It could be seen as the serpent wrapped around the tree of knowledge, but it's actually older than that. You can find evidence of the staff of Caduceus in artwork in Babylonia going back to like 2600. And then you have behind that is a red shield. Now this red shield, it has scales on it, which also looks maybe like the scales on a snake. But when you dry mushrooms, the dried mushroom cap of an amanita actually looks like sort of like a what we think of as a fish or an amphibian dried skin. So I have also seen evidence of the red shield in St. Augustine. It's a picture, I'll show you that. And there's also another red shield that I saw in some William Blake work, who I believe was a Rosicrucian. So you have that going on there. Then you get down to the feet, okay, Pan's feet. You've got him as Pan was the goat who dances around with the flute and induces panic. So you have that sort of a reference to Pan. And again, eating mushroom, inducing panic was another thing. In the original picture here, we have him. He's sitting on a globe, and the globe represents the world, but also looks like a mushroom. Another thing he's doing is he's pointing. We look at his arms. They're pointing up and down. And one of them says dissolve. The other says coagulate. And so we think about dissolving the neural network in our mind and then recoagulating it. But these people were alchemists. They were talking about breaking down substances and then forming new ones. And that was the process of transformation that is often thought of through psychedelics. But again, One last symbol I want to talk about is the torch that's on the top of Baphomet's head. This torch is a reference to Prometheus. Prometheus gave fire as a gift to mankind, and as a result, he was punished. So that fire is a symbol for enlightenment, and we think of enlightenment as the experience you have when you eat mushrooms. So again, I think that Baphomet is once again just a occult symbol of reality with a lot of mushroom symbols involved, because invariably to understand reality, you need to have some sort of experience like that, whether it's through psychedelics or just transformative environmental experience. Anyway, that's what I got to say about this. And this PEMDAS, I'm out. Check out scottos.org and you can find one of those Baphomet shirts, and they're fun to wear to entertain people and educate them. So thanks again.